draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select
JK Dobbins, running back out of the Ohio State. There is one thing the Steelers have to do, and there is no debate about it.
Run the ball!
Yeah, Big Ben is coming back after season-ending elbow surgery, so I think it'd be very wise to run the ball.
Yes,
and if we don't, then you're going to be seeing a lot more of that. A lot of very
unfiltered versions of that,
very
I would say.
unchild-friendly-like type of
versions.
Rants.
Of the same version.
So, Steelers, please start running the ball.
Yeah, seriously. And a guy like JK Dobbins, and this is my... I will scream. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. If JK Dobbins is there at 49, you take him.
It's a no-brainer.
I don't care who's on. I don't care if Joe Burrow somehow drops, which is obviously not happening, but I'm just saying an example. I don't care who's there. I don't care if Grant Delpit's there. I don't care if Jalen Reagor's there, and I love Reagor. I don't care if Higgins is there, and I love Higgins. I don't care who's there. If Dobbins is there, that's your guy.
Absolutely.
This guy is just the essential Steelers running back. He is the guy that can take the load off of Ben and keep Connor fresh and rotate nicely with Snell. This guy, and he has versatility to him as well, so Ben can dump it off to him, which he loves to do with running backs. Dobbins is your guy. If I'm Colbert, if Dobbins is there,
it's a no-brainer.
I'm hitting Goodell in his basement immediately and saying Dobbins.
JK Dobbins.
Like, there's no even thinking of who. Now, I might look at trades, of course, which I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers do so. But still, if JK Dobbins is there, I'm taking him.
The guy's got speed. The guy's got receiving ability. He's not really the most polished blocker, but we can work on that.
Yes, and we always do.
The guy has absolute talent and potential out of his ass. He is that damn good.
And this dude, man, his durability is great, and that's something that we definitely need at running back. We have injuries at running back. James Conner, we all know how that works. With his injuries, unfortunately. Jalen Samuels, he still has injuries. Snell, he's still young, but he's coming off of injuries. So we need someone that is durable.
And dependable. We really don't have any dependable guys.
And that is JK. Look what he did in the championship game. Although they lost, he came in 2 or 3 times when he went out. That's how much drive and durability he has, man. How much heart.
You know he's tough. He's very durable. He wants to win. And that is a Steelers mentality.
Yes, he's just, exactly, man. He just lives and breathes what the Steelers embody, man. That's your guy. If he's there at 49, you take him. Again, I don't care who's there. You take him. You text, you call, you keep calling until they answer that Dobbins is your guy if he is there.
Absolutely.
No exceptions. I love Taylor. I can see the Steelers taking Hilaire, maybe Akers, and I want to, complain one bit about that. But if Dobbins is there, again, that's your guy. And I'll scream it till I'm blue in the face. Dobbins is your guy. Dobbins is my guy in my dream. I hope he's there. That's what I'm hoping and praying for. That is my fantasy dream come draft day, day 2. That's my my guy there. Well, it seems like the pick is in, so let's go back to Goodell in his
his basement.
Yeah.
second pick in the NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select
Bryan Edwards, wide receiver out of South Carolina. I believe it was Still Maine who shouted to him in his first mock he released. I believe he said it best. This guy is a wide receiver, but he plays like a tight end. It's like he plays 2 positions. And this dude is just, in my honest opinion, the most underrated wide receiver in this entire draft class. This guy is flying under the radar so much, it's criminal. This dude's a monster.
This guy's a beast. This guy's got height that the Steelers need a wide receiver and a target that Ben would absolutely fall in love with.
He's got speed, impressive hands, and yards after catch ability. He's got strength, physicality to him, man. He's the perfect guy that would come in and rotate with the starting 3 and Deion Kane and just be another great weapon for this offense and for a returning Ben.
Absolutely. He would complement this wide receiver group so much.
Yes, he would. He's the height we need. He's the hands we need. He's just the what I would say the perfect rotational guy. You know, there's a lot of wide receivers you could get that would be phenomenal rotational guys, but we're going with Brian Edwards here. And one very impressive stat about Brian Edwards, he passed Alshon Jeffrey for the most receiving yards in school history in South Carolina. All time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was by like 3 yards, but I mean, it's still in the record books.
Hey, you could go by half a yard and still have your name in the record books. And I believe that would still count, yes.
Yeah, would that count? Nonetheless, man, he passed Alshon Jeffrey for most receiving yards in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So,
and
this dude's got potential, man.
He does. And this guy reminds me so much of a better and a more dependable Martavis Bryant.
Really?
A guy that his play style reminds me so much of Martavis Bryant, and the great thing about him is he has no off-field issues. That was the thing with Bryant. So much talent, but off-field issues were his main problem. Edwards has none of that.
Yeah.
The guy's dependable, the guy's reliable, the guy's got height, speed, potential. This guy would be perfect in the third round.
I would say that's a pretty good comparison. He's got deep ball, threat ability, the height, yards after catch ability. I think this guy would fit perfectly in this offense, man.
Mm-hmm. And Ben would want to test him out early with his height and potential.
Of course.
When Ben sees a tall target, he's going to give him a chance because Ben loves those tall guys. He never really had a tall, dependable guy in his career. He's always had them short guys.
Right.
Why not have Ben go out in his last few years with a great tall receiver?
Underrated at that with Brian Edwards, exactly.
Absolutely.
So I think he would be just a perfect guy at wide receiver to fill that number 4, number 5 role at wide receiver. Eventually start rotating with the guys and just be a nice spark for this offense, man, along with JK.
Exactly.
So that's how I see it there.
All right, guys, it appears that the pick is in. So Roger Goodell, going back down to your basement.
With the third pick in the NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select
John Simpson, interior offensive lineman out of Clemson.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Clemson was the only pro day that the Steelers attended. Mike Tomlin, Kevin Colbert, and company attended this entire pre-draft visit and all that. Of course, it was due to the coronavirus. It limited them to pro days. I think they were interested in the Michigan pro day. I think they were interested in so many other pro days, but Clemson was the only one they could go to before the NFL shut down all that stuff. But John Simpson is a guy I can see them targeting because it's a need. They need a developmental guard. They need depth. They need youth at that position.
Right.
And them going to Clemson, I can see them targeting a guy like John Simpson, and I think he is the perfect development for someone to eventually take over that long-term left guard role. Winsnewski is a nice temporary fix there. Maybe he starts at left guard, and maybe we move Fielder over to left guard, and then we get Zach Banner and Chuck Scorfor, who seem to be grinding like hell this offseason. I can see them fighting for a right tackle spot.
Right.
Wisniewski can be that versatile piece, but we still need development and youth and depth at left guard or guard in general. So that's what John Simpson would apply, and it would eventually take over that left guard role. I think that's a perfect. We've been saying it this entire draft season. It's a perfect time to draft a young guy for the offensive line and develop him, because there's no better time to do so, because most of the needs that we kept having to address in previous years are pretty much addressed.
Right.
So it's a perfect time to take advantage and develop guys to eventually take over that long-term role at guard, center, tackle, whatever, because unfortunately our line is getting older. So start getting younger. A guy like Simpson is the perfect development to eventually take over that left guard long-term role.
Absolutely.
That's the way I see it. But the pick is in, and let's go back to Goodell.
with the fourth pick in the NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select
Brandon Jones, defensive back out of Texas. This is someone that the Steelers had I believe a virtual meeting with. Correct me if I'm wrong. Safety is a need. Safety is a big need. We have to go safety eventually at some point in this draft. I wouldn't be surprised if they go early. You could say this is kind of early because it's within the first 4 picks.
Right.
Or within the first 3 rounds of what the Steelers can select, of course. So, safety is a need. Brandon Jones, I feel like he can be a solid, strong safety. He's the depth we need. He can get his feet wet in special teams. There's things he can work on. Totally.
Yeah, he's not the most explosive or the biggest prospect,
No.
but the guy's got talent, and just like you said, he can get his feet wet in special teams, which is needed right now.
Absolutely. So Brandon Jones, there's things he can work on. His tackling, some coverage ability, some ball skills. I know we're not necessarily the best team to develop at that stuff because look at our resume.
I'd say we're probably the worst.
Arguably so.
I hate saying that, but it's the truth.
I mean, look at our secondary. Steven Nelson, Joe Hayden, Minka Fitzpatrick all came from different teams. And then you have Mike Hilton. He was in the league for like 2 years before he came to the Steelers, and then he just completely burst into this great nickel guy. I'd say the only decent development we've had so far is Cameron Sutton. So I know Brandon Jones, he's definitely very raw, and we're not the best team to help with that stuff, but we still need safety depth, and we need special teams help. So I still think he can be a solid, strong safety. Some decent depth that we desperately need at safety. So that's the way I see it there. It's not necessarily the splashiest pick at safety, but it's still depth, some decency, I'd say, and I think he can still be solid.
Absolutely.
That's the way I see it. But now on to Goodell with the pick. The pick is in, so let's go back to Goodell in his basement, of course.
With the 5th pick in the NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select
Tanner Muse, dime linebacker out of Clemson.
We need dime backer. We lost Mark Barron, so we're definitely going to need a dime backer. I really like Gilbert. We both do. We're both incredibly high on him. He looked very good in preseason. Showed a lot of great potential, specifically in coverage and run defending.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the speed we need. So him and Bush could very well be the future inside linebacker if you really think about it. And could be just scary with all that speed and coverage ability. But, some competition goes a long way, I'd say. And Muse is the perfect dime backer, I'd say, for the Steelers.
Right, because, we can't just give someone the starting job automatically. We both like Gilbert, but he needs some competition. Tanner Muse can be that competition.
Absolutely. And the thing is, and we've said it before, man, this guy played safety, but he has the body of a linebacker. He has insane speed. He ran a 4.41. He played linebacker drill, so he's definitely going to be moving to linebackers. And he's a hybrid.
Right.
So clearly that means he'd be best as a dime linebacker. It's something we need. The Steelers were at Clemson, of course, so when they were probably eyeing, knowing that they would release Mark Barron. So it's a need. It's someone I can definitely see the Steelers taking. They dined with him. I know that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to, draft him because, the last few years they dined with Andrew Billings. They didn't draft him. I believe last year they dined with Chase Winovich, correct me if I'm wrong. Of course, they didn't draft him. They took Johnson over Winovich, which, was in some eyes controversial, but I think looking at it now, it's definitely going to be the better pick and better selection long term.
Yeah, probably.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to select him, but I still look at that Clemson connection, and I think they're going to really lean on Clemson as guys they're going to select because it's the only pro day they went to. So, and dime linebacker is a need, so we go with Tanner Muse. And I think he'd be the dime backer we need,
Absolutely, because in free agency the past couple of years with Mark Barron and guys like that, we've tried to fill that dime backer role, and they've done little to no effect at the dime backer role. So maybe the draft is what we're looking for at dime linebacker, and Tanner Muse can be that guy.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to be, wanting to keep the defense young and everything, add a lot more speed. So that's what Muse would bring right there. And many people are saying Muse is a steal. There's a lot of Steelers fans that love Muse, us included.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Muse would be great in the black and gold, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers picked him up. They're very high on him. They have that Clemson connection, and it's a big need. So I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if they take Muse, man. Now with the final selection in the draft, it seems like the pick is in. So let's take it back down to Goodell, where he is live in his basement. So Goodell, back at you, man.
With the 6th pick in the NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select
Justin Sternad, inside linebacker out of Wake Forest. So the last 3 picks, we go defensive back with Brandon Jones. Yeah, which is safety. We go dime linebacker with Tanner Muse, which could also technically be inside linebacker depth if you want to think about it. But we still need that Tyler Matakavage replacement. So we go with Justin Sternad here. There's been a lot of talks that the Steelers might go after Evan Weaver, and I think he is just a complete clone of Tyler Matakavage. He was a tackling machine in California. He doesn't have a lot of speed. He's more so going to be a great special teams core guy. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Tyler Matakavich embodies. That's what Evan Weaver reminds me of. I don't think he's going to last till the 7th. So we're going to go with Justin Strnad here from Wake Forest. And I think he could definitely get his feet wet in special teams as that Tyler Matakavich guy. Possibly build his way up because he's actually decent. So possibly build his way up, get a more rotational role in the future. The thing about him is he's going to be 24 by the time the season hits. So he's a little bit more on the older side in terms of rookies. So he might be best as a special teams guy. So that's all I'm looking at from now is the Tyler Matakavich replacement. Right. What Strnad would be.
Right, and that'd be fine, you know.
Right.
Losing Matakavich is going to hurt at the inside linebacker position because he was probably our best special teamer. But then that's why we draft Justin Strnad in the 7th round, or 6th round. No, 7th round, I'm sorry. And replace Matakavich there.
Yeah, for sure. So that's all it is there, plus depth inside linebacker, which we definitely need. So anyway, guys, that is our final mock draft of the 2020 NFL draft season, man. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. Quick recap. JK Dobbins with the 2nd round pick. Brian Edwards with the 3rd round pick. John Simpson and Brandon Jones both in the 4th round. Tierney Muse with the 6th round. And Justin Strnad in the 7th round. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. If you guys have any final mocks, go ahead and put them down below. If you guys have any suggestions, of course, put them down below again. And yes, there is no defensive tackle in this final mock. You know, we've been saying it that we can see the Steelers drafting defensive tackle, but there might be bigger needs like inside linebacker, definitely safety, maybe corner, maybe edge, for depth reasons, of course, that we might not be able to go defensive tackle. And with guys like Buggs and Alu, and of course Chris Wormley, which I think is complete insurance for if we don't go defensive tackle because of the limited draft capital we have.
Right.
I think we could definitely lean on those guys who are all capable of rotating and playing defensive tackle. Isaiah Buggs is someone that a lot of Steelers fans are high on, especially the Steelers coaching staff. You know, he's, all on social media, he's saying, I'm hungry, I'm ready for this, this is my opportunity. So,
and it helps a lot that our defensive line coach, Carl Dunbar, coached him at Alabama for a bit.
Right, so that has that, connection there, that possible trust in Buggs, and which is why we might not be able to go or might not go defensive tackle because we're too high on Buggs, and we're completely high on him. I'm leaning on him. I think he has a lot of potential. I think he can be a 6th round steal, so I'm leaning on Buggs if I'm the Steelers.
Right.
I'm hoping he shows a lot in preseason and stuff, but we're really high on Buggs, so we're going to stick with him at defensive tackle. Of course, we have rotational guys, like I said, Alu and Wormley, who are capable of rotating and playing there, of course. So those are plug-and-play guys. So no defensive tackle in this mock. However, I can see the Steelers drafting a Rashard Lawrence, maybe a Raekwon Davis, maybe a Benito Jones, maybe a Bravion Roy.
Lakey Fotu, Jordan Elliott, guys like that.
Right, it's very possible. But the reason why we don't go in here, because not only are we leaning on Buggs, but because of the limited draft capital we have, we might have to go with other needs like inside linebacker and safety, maybe dime linebacker, maybe corner, maybe edge. We have very limited draft capital.
Right.
So we might not be able to go defensive tackle, but I think we have guys we can still lean on to still be decent at that defensive tackle role. Guys like Buggs and stuff like that.
Of course.
And, of course, that not only is that our final mock on this channel, there is one final mock on Still Yinder's website. Now, I know there hasn't been a lot of content posted on the website for the guys that have joined there. That's probably due to the fact that there just isn't any news. There's really nothing much to talk about. And the draft season is pretty much almost done and over with, so all we have is the draft to talk about and things we can do and, who can show what and, training camp and stuff like that, if there is a training camp, hopefully. And, of course, who can step up for what if we don't go this position. Like, for example, Buggs. Maybe he can step up if we don't go defensive tackle, so stuff like that. But there is one final mock on the Still Yinder's website. It is live now. I'll put a link to that in the description below as well as pinned at the top of the comment section. And I will say a spoiler, it does include the Steelers trading back and collecting more picks. So,
which is something that the Steelers could very well end up doing this year. We don't know what the Steelers are
Yeah,
doing.
because of the limited draft capital, we might be doing so.
Yeah, right now we really don't know who the Steelers are going to select or what their mindset is here. So this is why draft day is going to be interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, day
so.
2 of the draft, not day 1.
Right. But
You guys get what we mean.
yeah, for sure. But if you're interested in that, link to that will be down in the comments below, as well as pinned at the top of the comment section. And no, we're not drafting a quarterback.
Not Jacob Eason, not Jake Fromm, and no, not Jalen Hurts.
Definitely not Jalen Hurts.
I've seen a lot of Steelers fans saying, "Oh, let's get Jalen Hurts. He could be the heir to Big Ben. He could be a great backup, then work his way as a starter." No,
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
They didn't go to They didn't go to his pro day. They haven't showed interest in him. They're not drafting
It
him.
makes no sense to draft him. We're in a win now situation, and why would you put your faith in a quarterback who's unproven,
Right.
who hasn't done anything in the NFL yet? Yet you got a guy in Mason Rudolph who didn't have the he didn't have the greatest year, but he's still developing.
Right, but that's a different story for another day. But
Right.
no, we're not taking a quarterback. So get off that train. Stop talking about it. Let it go. In fact,
Do you have a key?
let it go. It's not happening. We're not drafting a quarterback. It would be stupid to take a quarterback. We're in a win now situation. You want to take a goddamn quarterback?
It's not happening.
Makes no sense.
Let it go.
Makes no sense. But after all that's said and done, man, the draft is pretty much right here. It's a few days away, man, and I can't believe it. You know, it feels like yesterday we were just watching the Super Bowl. We were watching Mahomes lift up that Lombardi, Andy Reid holding up his first Lombardi, and now it's pretty much the NFL draft. A few days away, man. We're as excited as you guys are, of course. There might be a live stream on this channel during the NFL draft on Thursday and Friday, days 1 and 2 respectively, of course. There might be a live stream on this channel if all goes planned. There could be changes. We might stream on another channel. Might get in contact with some guys. Not sure yet, but we are trying to plan to do a live stream during the NFL draft for Thursday and Friday, of course, on this channel. Of course, we might have something in line, maybe with the Discord chat for day 2, knowing that's where the Steelers select. I don't know, man. We got some thinking to do. You guys can follow us on Twitter at SteelTwins for any updates, and we'll, of course, let you guys know or update you guys in the community tab on the channel, of course, so make sure you watch out for that. But the plan is to live stream on this channel during days 1 and 2. Might have some guys join us, maybe Discord chat, maybe some of the Steel City Disciples. I don't know. We got to get into contact with some guys and see what we're going to do there. But the plan is to do a live stream at some point during the draft and get interacting with you guys and start talking and start predicting picks, and especially for day 2 where, the Steelers are selecting. And
Right.
that's going to be very interesting to see what a lot of guys think and how our initial reactions are going to be. So,
Who we select.
right, but that's the plan right there. Of course, follow us on Twitter at SteelTwins and look out for the community tab on the channel for any updates on that. But hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know your guys' mocks, thoughts, and suggestions down in the comments below. The draft is right here, man.
Absolutely. I am pumped. I am excited. Yes, we don't have a first, but thank you again, Miami.
Yes.
And let's see who the newest members of the Pittsburgh Steelers will be.
Yes. Fingers crossed it's JK. That's my fantasy. Let us know you guys' fantasy down below. Very interested to hear that. What is your fantasy pick? What's your fantasy mock? Put it down below, man. Very interested to hear from you guys. And see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the draft. For your teams, if you guys are not Steelers fans, good luck to your teams, unless you're the Browns. Go fuck yourselves. Joe Burrow, I feel sorry for you. I just want to we send our deepest condolences to you and your future. Seriously, we send your deepest condolences to you. Good luck to you guys' teams, man. And see you guys in the next one, man.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
Peace!